The sun was slowly setting behind the thick forest, casting long shadows over the damp earth. The air was still, unnaturally still, as if nature itself was holding its breath. Khaled, the newly assigned forest ranger, rode his small bike along the winding dirt path. He had recently transferred from a crowded city, looking for a quieter, simpler life closer to nature. But this forest, it was too quiet. No birds, no rustling leaves, no sound at all. He stopped by an old moss-covered tree, pulled out a small notebook, and began to jot down his first impressions. Day 1. Nothing unusual. The forest is quieter than expected. He closed the notebook, but a strange tension lingered in his chest, a feeling he couldn't explain. Just as he turned to head back to his small cabin at the edge of the forest, he caught a glimpse of something. A figure, tall, thin, motionless, standing between the trees. Khaled froze. He blinked, looked again. It was gone. Just a shadow? Maybe, he whispered to himself. But he felt it, the weight of invisible eyes watching him. Back in the cabin, he tried to shake off the feeling. Made tea, locked the door, checked the windows. That night, sleep came slowly. And when it did, it brought visions. A faceless figure, standing in the woods, watching, always watching. And deep down, Khaled knew this forest held more than just trees. Khaled woke up before sunrise, drenched in sweat, breathing heavily. The dream had been crystal clear. He was walking through the forest at night, following a faint whisper calling his name, until he stopped in front of a burned tree. There, the figure stood again. Still, faceless, silent. He checked the clock. 5 a.m. He got up, washed his face, and stepped outside into the cold dawn air. But the uneasiness from the dream still clung to him. Trying to clear his mind, he went for a short walk along the trail. That's when he saw it, a strange symbol carved into the trunk of a nearby tree. A large circle crossed by 2 sharp lines. Fresh, deep, precise. What the hell is this? Some trail mark? A prank, he muttered. He reached out to touch it. A sudden chill ran through him. His fingers trembled. A sharp sting sparked in his head. Not pain, exactly, but pressure, like something watching him from inside. Crack! A branch snapped behind him. He spun around, flashlight up. Nothing, but the forest was no longer silent. He could hear it, soft footsteps moving, circling. Crack! Crunch! Crack! The sound danced around him, as if something unseen was stalking him from tree to tree. Khaled. His name, as if the forest itself spoke it. He froze. Who's there? He shouted. Silence. Then a soft rustle, like a breath in the wind. He ran. T looked back. Didn't stop until he slammed the cabin door shut behind him. That night, he reviewed footage from the security cameras he had installed earlier that week. Until 3 a.m. The screen glitched for a second, and then, in one frame, a tall shadow moved past a tree. No footsteps. No sound. He replayed it again. Same thing. Khaled leaned back, pale, heart pounding. The thing he saw yesterday was real. 3 nights passed. Khaled barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, the same nightmare returned. The burned tree, the whisper, and the faceless figure watching him from the shadows. The video footage haunted him. That shadow, it wasn't a glitch. He knew that now. By the 4th night, he made a decision. He needed to see it for himself. He packed a flashlight, a handheld radio, and his camera, and headed out just before sunset, toward the spot where the figure had appeared on the footage. The forest was even quieter than before. The silence was heavy, pressing down on him. Suddenly, snap! A branch broke behind him. He turned fast, flashlight pointed. Nothing. But the sound of footsteps didn't stop. Snap! Crunch! Step! Soft, slow, deliberate, like something stalking him. He spun in circles, light cutting through the trees. And then, the whisper returned. Khaled! His blood froze. His hand trembled as he held the flashlight. Who's there? Show yourself. No answer. Only the wind. Or was it something else? He ran. No thought. Just instinct. Branches cut at his arms. Roots grabbed his feet, but he didn't stop until he reached the cabin and slammed the door shut behind him. At midnight, Khaled sat staring at the security monitor, replaying the same short clip over and over. That shadow, that impossible shape. He couldn't explain it, but something deep inside him whispered what he didn't want to believe. It was real, and it was getting closer. Chapter 4. The previous ranger's journal Khaled woke up to a soft knock at the cabin door. Cautiously, he approached, heart pounding. When he opened the door, no one was there. Only a weathered, dusty journal sitting neatly on the ground. Its pages were yellowed, the leather cover cracked with age. He picked it up and opened the first page. Ranger Log, Sammy Al-Hadri, 1998. Khaled's eyes widened. He had never heard of any previous ranger named Sammy. The files he received when he was assigned here had been empty, as if no one had worked in the forest before. He flipped through the pages. One entry stopped him cold. I saw him tonight. Tall, no face, standing behind my window. He didn't knock. He didn't move. He just watched. The next page was filled with drawings. Strange symbols over and over again. That same circle with intersecting lines, the one carved into the trees. Underneath the drawings, a single sentence in shaky handwriting. The forest remembers. The creature never leaves. Khaled was now convinced. He wasn't the first to see this thing. The journal mentioned a storage room in the old ranger station, now abandoned deep in the forest. That's where Sammy had hidden something important. Khaled grabbed his flashlight and map and went. The building was barely standing. Vines covered the walls, windows shattered. Dust filled the air inside. Behind a broken desk, he found an old wooden box, tucked away under loose floorboards. Inside were a faded map of the forest with one spot circled in red, an old film camera, a tape recorder, and a black and white photo of 3 men standing by the burn tree. But one of the men in the photo, his face was blurred out, like the camera couldn't hold his image. Suddenly, the tape recorder turned on by itself, crackling to life. A distorted voice came through, deep, tired, afraid. If you're hearing this, it means he saw you too. The box fell from Khaled's hands. From outside, footsteps, getting closer. And this time, they didn't stop at the door. The recorder clicked. The static gave way to a voice, old, cracked, filled with fear. Date, unknown. Time doesn't matter here anymore. My name is Fahad Al-Arifi. I was the first ranger sent to this forest. But this wasn't a forest, not always. It used to be something else. A graveyard, maybe, buried by time and lies. Khaled sat motionless, the recorder trembling in his hand. We were 3, sent on a routine survey, marking trees, checking boundaries. But then we found the burned tree, and beneath it, the symbol, etched into the roots like it had always been there. Then we started seeing him. The voice paused, as if the memory was choking him. Tall, featureless. He doesn't walk. He glides. You don't hear him. You feel him. Like the air turns heavy. Like your thoughts aren't your own. The sound of faint whispers filled the background of the recording. Khaled's blood ran cold. Your eyes lie to you. You think you're seeing him. But the truth is, he lets you see him. And once you do, he's already inside. The voice cracked again, weaker this time. Sammy ran. I stayed. I had to warn someone. But now he's here. More static. Then, in the faintest whisper, don't follow the roots. Don't search for the tree. Just run. The tape clicked off. Khaled sat frozen, the words echoing in his mind. Suddenly, something brushed past the window. Too fast to see. Too quiet to be human. He stood slowly and looked outside. And there he was, between the trees. Still, watching. Closer. Khaled didn't remember falling asleep. One moment he was staring out the window, heart pounding, eyes locked on that faceless figure. The next, he was standing in the forest, barefoot, under a sky that didn't look real. The stars above weren't stars. They moved, slowly, watching him. The trees around him groaned and twisted as if they were alive. Their bark pulsed like breathing skin. And then he heard it again, that whisper, "Come closer." He turned toward it. In front of him stood the burn tree, but it had changed, taller, darker, almost melting. Black smoke curled from its roots, rising into the cold air. At its base, the ancient symbol was glowing faintly. Khaled stepped forward, hand trembling. When he touched it, the ground collapsed beneath him. He fell into darkness, endless, choking, cold. He couldn't scream, couldn't move. Then, suddenly, he was in the cabin again. But not the same. The walls were cracked, bleeding shadows. The air was thick, humming with static. His reflection in the mirror had no face. On the table sat his notebook, open, but no longer filled with his writing. Every page now repeated a single line. "He is inside you." A soft laugh echoed behind him, low, breathless, inhuman. He turned. Slender Man stood inside the cabin, motionless, not approaching, but not needing to. Khaled felt his thoughts unraveling, his memories slipping through his fingers like sand. He couldn't tell if this was a dream or something worse. He closed his eyes, and when he opened them, he was back in the forest, lying in the dirt. Sunlight was breaking through the trees, but something was in his hand, a torn, blood-stained piece of paper. Scrawled on it in smeared ink, "Your final meeting lies beneath the roots." Khaled looked up, and standing in front of him, silent as death, the burned tree. The sunlight filtered weakly through the trees, pale and cold. Khaled sat at the base of the burned tree, the blood-stained paper still clenched in his hand. Birds chirped in the distance. For the first time in days, the forest sounded alive, but Khaled felt no relief. The ground beneath him was still warm, like something had just been there, like something was still watching. He rose slowly, body aching, mind fogged. His memories blurred, dream and reality twisted into one. He stumbled back to the cabin. The sky was clearing, and everything looked almost normal. Too normal. On the desk inside, the old Ranger journal was gone. In its place lay a new notebook, clean and white. He opened it. On the first page, written in his own handwriting, "Though he didn't, you saw him. You belong to the forest now." And somewhere, in the silence, Tyr remembered writing it. He closed the book, sat at the window. Outside, the trees swayed gently in the morning breeze, but their shadows stretched longer than they should. And far in the distance, just for a second, he saw a tall figure, standing perfectly still among the trees. Then it was gone. Khaled didn't chase it, didn't run. He simply whispered to himself, "I didn't forget." The forest whispered back,